I'd like to invite Joseph Baich to the podium here today to accept the award for his cousin Mike Harris. I think many of you who've been around for a long time know the story that Mike was the man who returned a punt 79 yards to secure Midland's win in his first WPIAL championship game. In 1952, he went on to star at Geneva College, and Mike left us at a very, very young age. Joseph, thank you so much for being here again today.
Anybody in a hurry? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Although today is somewhat of a deja vu, it is still one of the proudest afternoons of my life. My name is Joseph Baich. My home is in South Florida, and I'm a 1956 graduate of Midland High School. There is a deep debt of gratitude that goes out to those responsible for the induction of Michael Carriage Jr. into the Hall of Fame class of 2013. To be elected to this elite group of athletes is a tremendous honor. I wish to thank the Hall of Fame committee, and in particular Chris Shovlin, Vic Martinetti, and Stan Yukika. And most importantly, those of you who are in attendance. I brought this jacket along to commemorate the 1952 football championship team and to offer it to the Hall of Fame committee if they wish to showcase it. This jacket was last worn by Mike in 1958. I gotta tell you, I made a lot of journeys from 1958, and that jacket came with me. And each and every time they came, they got cleaned and pressed or whatever they do. And I put it right back in my closet, hoping that someday I'd be able to pass it on. And I'm thinking that perhaps this would be the proper time, if they wish to accept it, to have it. And hopefully it shows as much as it means to me. This is a very unique occasion for me. The deja vu represents my cousin Mike's induction into the Beaver County Hall of Fame this past April. Now I'm not only here for his induction, but present for my other first cousin as well, Frank Waddell. These two men were my mentors and my idols as a young boy. They played together, they grew together, and they honored our family and our friends together. Henceforth, Frank will speak for himself, and I will speak for Mike. Michael Carriage Jr. had many attributes. He is being honored for his contributions in football and also in basketball. Mike played at Midland High School, West Virginia University, and Geneva College, where he won little All-American honors for being the leading passer of the nation in 1955. Michael also starred in basketball at Midland High School, West Virginia, and Geneva. In 1956, tragedy struck. He was hit by a cab truck and severely injured. Doctors thought he would never walk again, much less play basketball or football. In 1957, he miraculously returned to the gridiron, and for this he was named Pennsylvania's Comeback Player of the Year. Many people helped Mike through this crisis. But there is one person that stands out in my mind, and that was Bob Zielinski. Day after day, he went to Mike's home in Tuscaloosa and would lift him out of his bed and drive him down to the 7th Street playground, where Mike would shoot out of his wheelchair for hours, and I mean hours, as I was there shagging the balls at a time. Next day, they would go down to the football field, where Mike would throw passes. Needless to say, I shagged those too. And I'll never forget Bob for that, and I love him to death for it. He also said to Bob and I that he would indeed play ball in 1957. And so he did. Mike had many highlights throughout the career, of which he was a standout in basketball as well as football. He loved to compete. He loved challenges that brought out the best in him. No game was too big for him or unmeaningful. He always gave it everything that he had. Never knew the word quit. Couldn't even spell it. He had tremendous intestinal fortitude and was blessed athletically. But there were other talents that Mike brought to the table that made him somewhat of a celebrity. He had charisma, dedication, embraced the spirit of friendship, prior to participation in countless sporting events. Mike had the heart of a champion. So many things stand out in my mind about him. He left this world in 1958. 55 years, 7 months, and 27 days ago. He was 22 and had accomplished so much. I saw him play ball many times, and the moment that stands out the most in my mind was the Germantown Midland WPIAL Championship football game in Dormont High School in 1952. Man, it was a bitter, cold night. I thought that the only thing you could catch that night was frostbite, much less a football. Mike's 79-yard run back early in the third quarter, along with the outstanding play of the team, was enough to beat Germantown 14-6. This was a great moment and memory for me that I will never forget. A 79-yard run back and Midland's first football championship. Joe Matisich, sports editor for News Tribune of Beaver Falls, wrote, and I quote, "The game from start to finish was a frenzied affair of fumbles, interceptions, wasted opportunities, and breaks, with Midland capitalizing on these breaks. The most outstanding player of the game, and proved to be the clincher for the Midland victory, was the 79-yard run back on a punt for a touchdown by Mike Harris, one of the most underrated halfbacks in Beaver County. Harris, who in this writer's estimation is one of the best halfbacks in the county, took the pigskin on the 21 and nonchalantly swivel-hipped his way in an easy stride for about 20 yards. Amidst 7 Germantown players. Broke into the clear on the 50 momentarily. 2 Germantown safety men began to give close chase. But the slippery back took advantage of key blocks by Willie Vaughn, Bob Hibbert, and Dick Lewis that permitted the Leopard halfback to score unmolested. In addition to some of the other attributes that which I most admired about Mike, to coin a cliche, was not only could he talk the talk, Mike damn sure knew how to walk the walk, I can guarantee you that. Mike had class that never ran scared. He could handle anything that came along. He had a sense of humor. He knew that a good laugh was a lubricant for oiling the machinery of human relations. Mike never made excuses. He took his lumps and learned from past mistakes. Mike knew that if you had class, you had it made. And if you didn't have it, no matter what else you had, it just didn't make any difference. Mike loved life. He loved people. He loved playing football and basketball. He accomplished so much in such a little time. But what a lot of people didn't know was that Mike loved and took a great deal of pride in being a Serbian. When I concluded my Beaufort County Hall of Fame speech in April, I said, it would probably be my last hurrah for my cousin Mike and I. I never thought for a moment that when Chris Shovlin called me several months ago about Frank Berdella inducted into Midland's Hall of Fame, it would include my cousin Mike as well. What a privileged moment this is for me. Please let me say, this will be my last hurrah for both of my brothers, Michael Karras Jr. and Frank A. Berdella. Lako noć, Mihajlo and Frank, ja tebe voli sve srce. Hvala Bog. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for having me.
I want to thank Joseph and Lola again for making the trip up from Boca Raton. Nice and warm up here in Midland today, isn't it? Beautiful day in Midland, it truly is. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Mike Karras.